Everything you want to do in one click. You don't want people to get lost in navigation. Try give them what they want quickly by just opportunities like that happening.
This is the Business Owners Smashing It Online podcast for entrepreneurs and business owners looking for cool online tools, apps and strategies to make business easy online. My name is Nick Cree and I'm your host. Each episode features a guest expert demystifying the online universe, sharing inspirational ideas and providing tested real-world strategies to help you get the most of what's available online to grow your business today. Don't be a slave to your business, get your business working for you. Subscribe now and get some great content and ideas for you and your business today. All right, well now that brings us through to the session tonight, which is where I get to introduce my friend Steve Dart, who's going to talk to us about the SALIENT framework that gets you seen, trusted, and remembering. And he's talking specifically about LinkedIn. Steve would be one of the global experts in LinkedIn. He has been around the platform for a long, long time, and he knows more than anybody else that I know on the LinkedIn platform, which says something because we've had some experts on here who are very, very good as well too. But I guarantee tonight you're going to learn some things that you may not have seen before. So for those that don't know, Steve, he is a freelance fractional marketing officer. He is the creator of the brand SALIENT Factor, and he helps professionals and business owners become the go-to in their industry with LinkedIn. And his motto is be the best version of yourself and be 1% better every day. So let's put your hands together. Welcome to the stage, Steve Dart.
Thank you very much, Nick, and thank you everyone for turning up tonight. I hope you've had a great day. It's been a big day for me, lots of presentations, and sometimes I feel like I've been saying the same thing to a lot of people that have been turning up. So if I do, I apologize. And I want to say thank you very much to Alan for turning up, because I've actually put him in my presentation because I said something at a presentation recently and he used it, and I thought that's a good way of showcasing that my acronym is help one person every day, and it did help him, and I'm going to showcase how he's used it. So I hope everyone can get a bit out of this. So this is going to be a session where I'm actually looking at my LinkedIn profile, and I'm going to come back and present a slideshow. And then I'd love to jump on and anyone can ask me any questions about their LinkedIn profile and about brand SALIENT. So what I'll do now is I'll just share my screen. And sorry, if you do hear some dogs in the background, my partner has left and the dogs are active, so I do apologize. Let me just share my screen. Okay, so what I'll be talking about here is the LinkedIn platform, and the LinkedIn platform is a website, believe it or not, and we have many different pages. As you can see, this is what everyone lands on when you look at your profile. You've got a couple of different features here, which is the search bar. And one thing about the search bar, if you were to actually just click in that bar, it brings up some filtering options, as you can see here. And if I was wanting to follow, say, Alan Stevens, I'll just show this quickly. This is in my presentation. I would go to posts. Then I would go sort by, and let's say latest, show results. This is just showcasing, let's say in the last month, just to make it nice and open, search results. Content type, let's show an image. I'm sure he's been doing some images. And let's go from the member, and I'll type in Alan. And there it comes, show results. And there's all Alan's posts that he's done on LinkedIn. There's the one I'll be talking about a bit later. What I would do from there, because I like Alan, I want to follow him continuously, I would then save this to my bookmarks, and then I would rename it Alan Stevens LinkedIn. And then I would just go to there, my bookmarks, and when I click on that, I can see all the posts. The idea of this is you're following someone like Alan or one of the creators on LinkedIn, you can easily jump in, like, comment, repost, and share, and that kind of thing. So that's just a nice little tip, first of all, of how to use the search filter. Within here, we've got the icons. Remember, LinkedIn is a website. So this one, it's underscored, is your homepage newsfeed, where all your content is being seen, or where you see your connections and followers content coming through. On this page, it's my network. This is showcasing you all your network. And when you click on here, this is showcasing all your first degree connections. So you can actually search them and filter by name. Then you've got the jobs icon. Then you've got the messaging icon here. And I'll just rapidly go through here. This is where all the messages are. And if you do like a message from someone and you'd like to surface them to the top, you would basically just click on there, you would star it, and they'd be starred in the filter, and all your starred would surface all your content to the top. And then basically you've got notifications. This is what LinkedIn's sending you in regards to notifications and posts that your connections and followers are doing. And you can just quickly log on here and then engage. And here is a quick way. It's just a little me icon. It goes basically shortcut back to your profile. So within this profile section, this is what I call above the fold. It has your banner. As you can see, I've got a premium subscription. So my banner is scrolling through 5 different banner designs. And the beauty of that is I get asked a lot, Steve, what if I've got a few different companies, how do I profile them if it's just one company, one profile page? Well, this is a way of showcasing different profile banners and of companies and activity. And as you can see here, it'll scroll up. This is about the 7-step SALIENT method. This is tonight. I just put up there the event I'll be speaking on. It's almost like a what's on page as well. So I just basically have 5 different slides scrolling through. It's really about curiosity. The main top of your profile, that banner section, it's so visible and such a great real estate. It does draw curiosity to who you are so people read further. And I'll just show you behind the scenes. If I was to change that up, I would go in here and here's all the different icons I could put in there. And it's just I can take them out and re-upload them. And that's how the banner is situated on a premium profile. I'll just let that reload for the moment. So as we look down here, you've got a profile photo. Make sure, and I'll talk about this later, that it's up to date, current, and really friendly. Make sure that you're smiling, you've got your eyes, whites of your eyes showing, and try to have no actual background effects. Just try and have it nice and clear, so nothing's drawing the eyes away from your profile. Here I've got my name. I've got a verification shield. I've got my sonic branding, which is my name pronunciation, but I've used it to actually a little call to action. And here I've used my pronouns as a little tagline that says, become the go-to person. And you can change that all up in your edit situation. An interesting thing that I'll show you in my presentation is when you first log on to LinkedIn, the algorithm first comes to this part, which is your about this profile. And it basically has when I joined and my contact information. Now, mine's saying here contact info and profile photo. I updated less than a week ago. I did that on purpose because I want to be a good product for LinkedIn to serve me up to its #1 client, which is recruiters. So here's a little tip to make sure you're a good product for LinkedIn to show in search results. I would say remove your profile photo and then upload it again and refresh. And it'll showcase that you are a good product for LinkedIn's #1 clients, which is recruiters. So that's just showing you that's showing you the about this profile card I'll be speaking about. Here is what I call a strapline, or it's known on LinkedIn called a headline. And I have my position, and then I have what I am. It's a creator of the brand Salience Factor, 100+ personal brands built. This is all building curiosity. And then link into the power source of LinkedIn. Click my featured section to review. And that's telling people as a call to action to go down further into my featured section, which is here. And these are all my lead magnets. And you've got to always tell someone where they need to go next and just be a little bit open into that clarification. You can do that through your headline. This contact info, not many people realize, but this is really important. This is your profile URL, which we share when we're sharing our LinkedIn profile. And here, most people don't activate their websites. I recommend putting 2 of your company websites with leading landing pages, URLs, and do a LinkedIn recommendation if yours is activated up into your contact information card as well. Because one click, if someone's looking at that, it goes directly to my recommendations, which is my social proof. And that's what my clients say that I'm doing. So I've got 110 people verifying that in market, I'm delivering of what I'm putting forward in market. And this is one recently from Andrew Lawrence. And it was a really great recommendation. And I can either turn them on or turn them off. But as you can see, very, very high individuals give me recommendations of working with me and finding the outcome was suitable to what they were looking for. So that's basically just showing you contact information. I've also got a link here called Become an All-Star. This is a quick link out to a landing page on my website. LinkedIn doesn't usually allow this, but you can have that in that section. Everything you want to do in one click. You don't want people to get lost in navigation. Try give them what they want quickly by just opportunities like that happening. And you can find this, I'll show you where this becomes. If I click my edit pencil and I go all the way down the bottom, it's down here in this website link here. You can see I've got link text becoming an all-star and I've just put the profile page URL. So that's just showcasing how you can use a little bit of your above the profile. So this is above the line, almost like in the old days when they were reading a newspaper. It was above the curve before they folded it. Same thing with LinkedIn. So it's very imperative that you get this right because this is a curiosity piece. Down here, this analytics is only viewable to me as it is to you. And then your about section, this is an important part of your profile. Always do your about section in first person and do it as you're introducing. Hi, I'm Steve, what I do, and my claim to fame. And I'm talking about my salient activity at the moment. And I've also blended in a recent testimonial, and make sure you give them a call to action, which is click on the blue connect button and to subscribe to my bell icon on my profile to get more of my content. And definitely, if you don't feel it's not inappropriate, leave your mobile. I don't know how many times I've had phone calls from people wanting to work with me because they could find me. So that's basically showing you the about section. And then further here, we've got services you can add. Here's the featured section, which is my lead magnets I'll talk about. Here's my activity showcasing my recent posts. And that is a scroll through activity on the profile. So I'm just showing you navigation. And then an experience. People think this is your experience through the jobs you've kept. LinkedIn isn't a CV anymore. In this situation as a lead magnet, it is your experience of your tenure in business. So basically, I've been with Ubuntu, I'm a trainer, I'm a LinkedIn Sales Navigator trainer, and within this, I've got skills, and I've also got emergent, I've updated media that you can bring media. Sorry if you can hear the dog there barking. And the way that you can add media to your experience section is if you go into the edit pencil, you go into that experience, you click the edit pencil, you come all the way down the bottom of each experience section and you add your skills and then you add your media. And that's where it's found in that media section. And then you save and then that uploads it. I'll just say that so it. Beautiful. And there it is. All in that, it truncates itself in visuals like that. So the idea, if it's one click and they can go in to find more of your resource and details about you. And I have that right through my profile when I was working with Surfing Like as a media brand partner, coaching with Prominence Global. I'm head of sales and marketing and national, and just as you can see, just going through. And the reason I've only got these in my experience section, not my whole employment history, because this is all relevant to what I'm teaching in market at the moment. So that's show how you also profile your experience section. And one thing to remember when you're asking for a LinkedIn recommendation, in the drop down menu, it is asking you what experience you want to be recommended on. So make sure that this is very poignant to where you want your recommendations to be pointed towards. I've also got my educations, license certificates, projects, volunteering, skills, recommendation. Once again, you can see this is that hyperlink I'll show you that Alan used, and this is it here. If you actually capture that from your recommendations, if you copy that and take that across into another browser and open it, it goes directly into the same page. So you can then transfer that across into email signatures. And then when they see that on an email coming through, they click on that with curiosity and they come straight into your recommendations. This is your social proof of your competency in market. And this will separate you from your competition. And then as we go down a bit further, we've got languages. Always have it set to English unless you are bilingual. Organizations, and then interest. The reason we have interest there is because people can talk to you on a conversation of your interest, companies, top voices, groups, and newsletters and things like that. So that's a little bit of an overview, and I'll just stop sharing in case anyone has got any questions. I know that was a bit of a fast run through, but I just wanted to just show you how easy it is to navigate on the LinkedIn platform and use it to your advantage, especially those recommendations, because my whole thesis is do good work, talk about it on LinkedIn through your content, but obviously get recommendations from your past clients and peers because they're going to help sell you into the market because of the outcome they've achieved from working with you. So Jane, I might take a question. I know you were writing a lot down. I want this to be very interactive.
Okay, yes, I was writing my question down so I wouldn't forget it, but I was also trying to look at it and answer it myself. But so I want to get in contact with a lot of event planners in Australia. How can I actually put that job profile in and see a list of event planners and then scale it down from there?
It's probably more apparent on a LinkedIn premium product like Sales Navigator. It's more targeted to that. On the basic search, it's not that detailed.
No.
I would say if you come across an event planner, then do that first thing with the post and that, and then start engaging on their content. But
Okay.
ideally, event planners, when it's searching through the search opportunity, it's pulling those keywords from people's profiles.
Yep.
So it really is it's more detailed on the LinkedIn Sales Navigator premium version than just the basics.
Okay. Thank
One thing
you.
you can do is you can actually, I'll just share, this is a nice little opportunity to show this at the moment. I'll just bring this back up.
I don't know if that's the correct name for the profile, but
Here's a little tip that you can try, right? So if you just click on the enter in on your keyboard. Now I would say if you went, say, to events, and you can see at the moment on LinkedIn under events, it's got 71,000 events. Just say if though I was looking for anyone in this, say this top one, which is on tomorrow, if I wanted to find out who was going to this event, I would click on this event here, and then I would attend the event. And then when I attend the event, if you go down to networking, it's got everybody who's going to that event.
right.
Okay. So if it's in that criteria you're looking for, this is a great way to see who's going to that event and then connect with them and reach out with a nice message that said, I saw you going to this event. I am too. Thought I'd just get in early and say hi and start building a relationship. And that's by using the event filter. Now, as you saw there, there's many, many events that you can go through. So that's one style, how to do that as well using the filter.
Wonderful.
Excellent. I'll
Thank
stop
you.
sharing. Excellent. Thanks, Jane. Jenny.
Hey, Steve.
Hey.
Just a quick question with the media. So I'm just curious about, are those videos you've pulled from other places? Are they videos that live on your PC as MP4s? What if I've got a YouTube channel and I want to be able to replicate without taking people off LinkedIn into YouTube, but just replicate the video in LinkedIn?
Yeah.
Is that where I would use the media?
Yeah, look, ideally LinkedIn Love native videos brought up that's not anywhere else, but you can bring those links across because when you actually let me show you, I'll just tell you really quickly. And that's why I love this interactive opportunity. If I was to go into my into my experience section, when I go into the edit pencil here and I go down to media, when I add media, it gives add a link, and it can be from videos, articles, and websites, or add media presentations. Can come across from YouTube or any other presentation. So it's an either or upload.
Okay, so I can upload a video file using that too?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay,
And the
excellent.
beautiful thing about this is you can use these as ascending bars to go up and down to placements.
Great. Okay. Yeah, I like how you mentioned using them as lead magnets because it's not something I'd considered before.
Yeah, absolutely. This part here, why I'm live in here, this featured section, if you're on the call or watching this online, if you haven't got this activated, where you go to do that is you go to your add profile section, and you've got three core elements here under add profile. You've got core, recommend, and additional. I would say a big part of optimizing your profile is to open up all of these and actually fill them out and publish, because this gives you a better rating on your SSI score. And also it just enables you to put and populate your volunteer experiences, any publications, patents, honors and awards. My advice is spend at least an hour and populating all this, because the profile is your billboard of success. So don't hold your genius back from everything you've done past and presenting it on your LinkedIn profile. It's really important. So this featured section, once again, add profile. Here it is here, add featured. I've already got mine. So it was basically, if I didn't have any there, it would say add featured. I'd push plus, and I can bring up a post, add a newsletter, add a link, add media. And what I could do here also, if I wanted to profile that latest recommendation I got, I could click on that. I'd click on recommendations, and I'd bring up my most recent one from Andrew, which I absolutely loved, into my featured section. And there it is. So this is a very resource-rich part of your profile. Recommendations, social proof. Here's a lead magnet to a 15-minute, to a VIP group that I run. And here's a quick lead magnet to a program I run. So there's, you click it open, and then it goes straight into the program with all the details. Trying to condense everything to one click. Make it easy to navigate to the person trying to work with you to get what they want. And and I'll show you in my presentation, only 3% of people are in market for what you want. The 97% need to start building trust about you, and this is where they do that. So that's your featured section there. So once again, add the profile section, add featured, and then you can add it. And I can also ascend and descend within my featured section. Primarily, you can have multiple of these. I recommend maximum about 3 or 4 at the most. And that's your featured section. And I'll stop sharing in case anyone's got any questions. Tabitha, great to see you here. How can I help you?
Hi, Steve. My question was around, I've been anti-LinkedIn for many, many years because I moved from the corporate world, but I just wondered, are company LinkedIn pages worth it?
Absolutely. The reason they work well is, number one, when you build a company page, you can actually bring your logo that pulls in from your company page into your experience section. That's number one. Also, it actually shows an outcome, because your LinkedIn profile is you as a business professional thought leader. And then your company page is your support mechanism to show case studies, employee advocacy, and how the brand is representing. Because we know that people don't buy logos, they buy from people. So that's why LinkedIn allowed us to have a profile page first and then a company page off the back of that. So they both work strongly. I would say you want to post primarily on your LinkedIn profile, because we want to hear from your genius and what you've gone through in business. And the company is case studies and outcomes from you as a leader leading the business.
Yeah. Great. Thank you.
Thank you. David, you got a question?
Yeah, about newsletters and events. That I know it's about profile, but the power of newsletters and I see more events going on there.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I was going to talk to Aldwin about her book launch would be done through an event. The beautiful thing with events on LinkedIn is they allow you to, when you create a LinkedIn event, to send that out to 1,000 of your LinkedIn connections per week. And it resets every Sunday. So if you had 5 people that are willing to partner with you, and you created the event and said to Alan and Jane and Jacqueline and Nick, can you please share? That's 5,000 opportunities of your event to go out to their network.
Wow.
Yep, that's the power of LinkedIn events. And I see so many people creating creating events, and I just jump on quickly to a message and say, are you creating a LinkedIn event to showcase that? And they're like, no. I'm like, because if you did, I'd share it to 1,000 of my connections.
Wow. That's powerful, isn't it?
That's the power of LinkedIn events. They only give a few metrics to what they measure, one being the SSI score, which I dropped into the chat earlier, and LinkedIn events. They actually tell us we can send out a registered event to 1,000 of our connections. and it turns up in their My Network page.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's the newsletters when they go out to your connections as well, don't they?
Yep. What they do is when you create a LinkedIn newsletter, it actually forces, well, it goes into, because of the domain power, it goes into the emails as well as the LinkedIn notifications. So a lot of people who aren't on LinkedIn will get an email and they'll just get a synopsis of the email with the banner and the headline, and it will say, join the conversation back on LinkedIn. Because one of LinkedIn's main drivers is to get people back on LinkedIn, because LinkedIn's a business. And as you see, you're scrolling through the newsfeed, you see sponsored content coming up. That's
Yep.
their sales arm.
Right. Powerful.
Very powerful. Yeah. You can see why I live on LinkedIn. It's just so much you can do on this platform. And if we went back to the early days of smoke signals, I'd probably have the best firewood. Like, I think of it as an ecosystem of, I hardly even look at emails. I'm just talking to that many people through direct messages because they get flooded with emails and they go in spam. But when you actually talk to someone on LinkedIn, a little blue tab comes up and it says, we can talk to each other. And then I go and offer value straight away. And that's a big part of it. We're not there to extract value. We're there to give. It's like a giver's gain.
Yeah.
Great. Thanks, David. Fred, how can I help?
Yeah, just a quick one, Steve. On the invites, like for the events, I'm finding that when I get a lot of people accepting the invites, but then they don't turn up. Like, and it's not just 10%. It's probably 90% just
Yeah.
accept it and they don't turn up. Is there
Yes.
any way to optimize for that or to?
Yes. Yeah. Great question. Yes, it's called nurturing all the way till the show goes live.
Okay.
It's done through email nurturing. It's also done by writing content and saying a little bit, three key things that people will see in regard to your event. People get busy. And if when you actually draft or publish your event, make sure that they know to add it to their calendar. Because the biggest issue with show rates is they want to turn up, but life gets busy. And when the event happens, they're like, I'm double booked. So make sure that in the details, you just say add to calendar and make sure that a really stand out embossed print. Because once they lock that in, they'll turn up. But it's the nurturing all the way into the event. It can be 24 hours out, 7 hours out, we're going live in 5 minutes. That's the nurturing. That gets people to the event. And then when they've gone to the event, then you follow that up with the broadcast or the recording. And then you might, with that recording, break that up into what we call carousel posts on LinkedIn. And then you can squeeze the lemon a bit more and get more content variety from that presentation.
Magic. Glad I asked the question. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you for doing that. It's an excellent question.
Are you there, Steve?
Sorry.
Paul Kennedy here.
Hey, Paul, how are you?
Yeah, good, thanks, mate. Listen, just picking up on what Fred's question, I think there's also another reason. My understanding is when somebody puts an event up, if somebody just looks at it, the system actually tells the organizer that that the person who looked at it is attending. And that, of course, is often not the case. And Fred, trying to answer your question as to why 90% don't turn up, my understanding is that as the organizer, you're given the impression that they are registering for your event, but in fact, they're not. They just happen to have a look at it. Steve, are you able to comment on that?
Yeah, look, you want to try and always create your LinkedIn event on a company page because it does give you a one-click opportunity to download the registration details. And then you can actually, once again, nurture that through the sequencing and definitely have about 6 weeks lead in or nurturing up to that detail. In regards, I've actually heard that's happened with LinkedIn events, but yeah, I can't support or speak to that too deeply.
I'm pretty sure it's correct. So just again, when people see that somebody is coming to your event, and I guess this comes to your comment about nurturing, you're probably very wise to go back to them and thank them for registering, even if they weren't, they were just looking at it. And that way you can clarify whether they will be there on the day or not, because Fred, I've had exactly the same issue that you've highlighted, but thank you, Steve.
No, Paul, well said. And what I'd say if you really want to go more personalized is I would actually do that return message on your phone in the message with a video message if you'd like to personalize it. So, using your phone or your in-app experience on LinkedIn is a good way of deepening the relationship by leaving a video message through your phone. So you can just try different variations of what we're doing. Thank you so much. It was great. Excellent. All right, what I might do now, because it's, sorry, Jacqueline, I haven't answered your question.
Yeah, I just had a question about the SSI score. I've just clicked on that and I've got a 62 out of 100 SSI score. Is that okay?
That's very good. In my presentation I'm just about to show, I'll bring up the score range. Actually, I think I did put the score ranges in the chat.
No, I think you just
No, I
popped it in
didn't.
for us, Steve, at the beginning.
Yeah, what I'll do,
Just
let
when
me
you and I were chatting.
just give me a moment. I'll put the score ranges in. And I think, Nick, you had really good proficient use of LinkedIn. So let me just put that there. That's the score ranges there. And 60 to 69 proficient use of LinkedIn, good overall performance. So what you're doing is really good. And this is really, I would say, when you've actually got that URL, just bookmark that, come back and look at your SSI score and see how you are advancing. And it is really an indicator of the activity you're doing on the on the platform. And a couple of ways, as you can see, your own KPIs, and I'll put this in as well to the dashboard, sorry, to the chat, my apologies. That's a good way of checking yourself. How many profile views in the past 90 days have you had? How many times have you been shown up in LinkedIn searches in the past week? That's a nice little KPI. And what size of your LinkedIn network is ascending upwards? So you want to keep building your profile. You want to start getting more connections. The reason why connecting with the right people on LinkedIn is because it gives you the opportunity and the authority to talk to each other. Plus, in the very first, when you post content of your new connections, LinkedIn forces your content into their newsfeed for the first 2 weeks. So when you connect with someone, make sure you're thinking about that ideal client profile and you're writing content to the value that you can help them with. Tabitha, go ahead, then I'll answer you, Alden.
Sorry, just a random question that I have 2 company profiles and I'm having lots of problems with LinkedIn at the moment because they say, no, you've got 1 phone number and it's linked to 2 company profiles. Do you know anything about that or what I've done wrong with that? The other thing is that one was started under my maiden name, the other started under my married name. So I don't know if that has any, because I've got 2 companies basically that
I'd have to look
over
a bit
the last 20 years. Yeah.
Obviously, there's an issue with the syncing of that. But if you want to jump on a call, I'll have a look at one-to-one with you because there's probably a bit of detail we can go through.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank
More
you.
than happy to, though.
Okay, thanks.
Aldwin?
Thank you. Yes, the events thing is very interesting because when I stream my shows from StreamYard it goes to Facebook, LinkedIn and YouTube, it actually sets it up as an event. And then I've been inviting 1,000 people through My Most Trusted to the event. So with the 1,000 people that I invite, does that flush you said do it on a Sunday, is that right? Does it flush?
No, it resets every Sunday. So basically it'll exhaust 1,000. And then on Sunday night, the USA time, it'll just reset. So then you can go back on Monday, our time, and then just start doing it again. It'll just auto scroll through your My Most Trusted Chrome extension, unless you filter it, but it'll work right up to about 999 people. So just reset every Monday after you've done the event registration.
What time, our time, would it be Monday?
I would say probably Monday afternoon I'd do it.
Okay.
Leave it to that, try that.
So
But it does reset USA time in the afternoon.
Okay.
Evening. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. What I might do now, everybody, just to get the advantage of live broadcast, if you've got your LinkedIn app, in-app experience, I want you to just, with your mobile, just click on your app of your LinkedIn profile. I want to bring up your own unique QR code. The reason this is really important is because when you're out networking or meeting people and you've optimized your profile, it's a very quick way. Actually, what I'll do, let me start, I'll just share my presentation. Okay, so this is the part here. So if you go onto your LinkedIn app, open it up, and in this top section, when you first open up, it defaults to the homepage newsfeed. In this top section, you'll see a little square here. I want you to tap on that.
Steve, it's just black at the moment.
Are you? Okay, let me just
Yeah.
I'll just Sorry about that. My apologies.
That's better.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. So if you look at when you tap on the LinkedIn app, it'll open up default to your homepage news feeds. I want you to tap into this search bar up here, and then it'll open up your search and it'll have this little window icon to the right-hand side. If you tap in that window, it'll bring up your own unique QR code. It'll look like that here. From there, if you're meeting somebody and you're standing in front of them, you would have my code and they would transition up here to scan, and their photo would be activated and they'd take a photo and it would go straight to your LinkedIn profile and you would connect on the go. So this is now your LinkedIn profile business card, or AKA business card. And the beauty also, you can actually save this QR code to your photos, and it just has this little image here. And then you can transfer that into Zoom backgrounds like I've got there, or you can put on any marketing collateral, and it's one click straight through to your LinkedIn profile that's optimized. So that not many people know that activation's there, but it's a really nice way of, when you're meeting someone on the go, both opening up this app, connecting with each other, and then obviously connecting and continuing on a relationship together. So there you go. Basically, the mobile app, it 10 times your LinkedIn connections and drives faster one-to-one meetings. So this can be your new digital business card, because when you've optimized your profile to be all-star, which means completely filled out, you can then stand in front of someone on the go meeting them, and you can both talk about where your opportunities lie with your business development together. Another one there is also, that's the SSI score, how to be the top 1% in your industry. This is showcasing off 4 different quadrants, which is establish your professional brand, it's 25 points out of 100. Finding the right connections, engaging with insights, and I'll preface that by saying your insights, and then building relationships. So it's based out of 100 points. And basically, if you can, I'll just showcase the scoring. That's the URL there. If you didn't see it in the chat, if you didn't see it on the live broadcast, that's where it is. And the factors do include the relevance, how well your profile matches the search criteria, including keywords, skills, and job titles. Connections, the number of quality connections, especially over 500. And then LinkedIn engagement. LinkedIn considers how effective engaged you are on the platform. And that's by posting content, even in your DMs, DMing your connections. It looks at that. And 100% with profile completeness. Make sure, as I said to you before, add profile section, open those up to those 3 core elements and publish that, and then save the detail. So there is the scoring ranges from 0 to 39, little no activity, right up to mastery, and that's 100. I've only sort of seen in the sort of mid to low to mid 90s as the highest. I'm sitting in about the 79 to 80 myself. So it's really just a guide as that URL. So let me just give you a little bit of an idea of how LinkedIn started. In 2002, it was started by Reid Hoffman, and it was off the back of an idea that, 6 degrees of separation. Within 6 handshakes, you can meet anyone in the world, and that's kind of the basis behind LinkedIn. In 2008, they launched the mobile in-app experience, which I just showed you with the QR code. 2012, Sir Richard Branson became the first millionth followed person on LinkedIn. And then in 2016, Microsoft purchased LinkedIn for $26.2 billion. So you can imagine how interested Microsoft want people to upgrade into their premium products, because there's a lot of, if I asked you how much is data worth to Microsoft, it'd be $26.2 billion. And in 2023, LinkedIn celebrated its first billionth member. And as of today, a new profile is being built every 3 seconds. So you can see how big this platform is getting. As you can see, the LinkedIn profile is your digital storefront. Showcase your professionalism to the world. And you can see all these different countries and regions and now doing some amazing volume with LinkedIn. And to think it's just a website, it's quite incredible, right? Couple of different stats of LinkedIn recently. In February, LinkedIn saw 1.77 million monthly visits and over 61 million decision makers, 10 million C-suite executives, and 150 plus 150 new features on the platform. So it's improving all the time, and an average of 40 hours per month using the LinkedIn mobile app. So we do actually spend a lot of time looking at our profile, doing content and different activity into the newsfeed from our mobile app. This is the most exciting part for me. This is the new market, LinkedIn Gen Z. The most popular people on the platform is aged 25 to 34. The new decision makers, they are omnipresent, which means they are present everywhere, not just LinkedIn. They're really playing into the social selling. So social selling is using online platforms, primarily LinkedIn, to engage in relationships with individuals that ultimately lead to physical conversion or meetings. So yes, we meet people on LinkedIn, but the idea is to get them off into a phone call or some kind of meeting where we take them away from the platform. So to show you how LinkedIn is working at the moment in social media platforms, it is the #1 as far as social media marketing survey. So it's doing really, really well. Here's some of the things or some of the platforms that the Gen Zs are using: Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Pinterest. Gen Z are making unlimited content across 7 media platforms that have the attention across our society. That is 100% correct. And here's some people doing really well. This is Kate Catfield Jeffries, co-founder of Moody. She's become a millionaire in 3 years, starting with only $400 in her pocket to start. So this is one person that's doing incredible. Rachel Wild, she runs a $22 million brand, and she's got influencers like Indy Clinton, and you can see she's got a profile. And Davey Fogarty, I listened to a podcast of his recently, and he ran 850 million business before turning 30. So this is the new market, the young market coming through. They are on the platform, they're digital natives, and yeah, they're doing extremely well. So what's happening in Australia at the moment? We're in a trust recession. Trust in business is at the lowest point in 20 years. So it's impacted consumer behavior and buying behavior. Trust is not given, it has to be earned through repeated positive interactions, and LinkedIn is a great place for that to happen. So what I call the psychology of first impression bias, in only seconds, people form their own opinion of you. And they do that. Before I showed you what I called above the fold, well, this is it in a static position. Basically, your banner, your photo, your name and your strapline or headline is what people look at. This is where curiosity is built for them to read down further. So LinkedIn is your personal website, your landing page, your pitch deck, sales deck, and business card all in one. The person that's remembered is the person that's referred. People ask me, where do I might spend most of my activity writing content? It's on, people are on their mobile. So optimize for mobile use. 65% of users access LinkedIn on mobile. So make sure your content is quite spaced out, easy to read and easily. So when you optimize your profile, look back on your mobile and see if everything's clear and reads correctly. A complete and active profile is 40% greater in search results. And an up-to-date and complete LinkedIn profile pulls information from SEO, which is search engine optimization, and now GEO, generative engine optimization search results. LinkedIn profile appears higher in search results because of the EEAT, and that's 100 points, and I'll explain that in the next slide. But it's all about profile completeness, relevance, connections and networks you build, the personalization to you, and keyword optimization. 40% of LinkedIn traffic comes from Google experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. It is a framework used in Google search quality rater guidelines. So the most important thing from this is make sure your profile is optimized, it's relevant. The 7-4-11 theory on Google is at least 7 hours of interaction across 11 separate touch points in 4 different locations, and LinkedIn primarily being one of those channels. This is what I spoke about before, and this is why I wanted to show you live. It's called the time value of data, and it's showcasing your contact info card and your about profile. If you can build these out and make sure they're resource rich and have all your details and are up to date, you're going to be higher found in search results. And make sure that you add your verifications, because you'll get 60% more profile views from verifying your profile. Salient, something that is noticeable, important, or prominent. And this is what I love about brand salience, because how likely customers are to think of you or notice you when they're making a decision, purchasing. The number one that comes to mind is Coke. When you're thinking about cola, Coke comes to mind. So that's brand salience in action. When we talk about personal brand salience, how likely customers are noticing you, I would say Richard Branson comes to mind when you're talking about the Virgin Group. So he's got 19 million followers. And as I said before, he was the first millionth follower person in 2012 at that time. So how readily do people think of you? Stand out for S. A is authority. L is leverage your networks. I is impactful summary. E is endorsed and recommend. And N is nurture and engagement. And T, targeted keywords. The main thing about it is you want to make sure that the name comes up first and more easily, and you actually have your name detailed. Stay away from any emoji and icon. Keep your name nice and clear. Also, list your skills, your profession, and always look for trying updating your specialized services. What makes you niche to your market? Just wanted to show you a before and after of a client that we had. When you start with LinkedIn, it basically just gives you a default where you have your banner, which is like grayed out, and it doesn't give you much detail. But if you can actually populate it, like you can see here with the before and after, we work with this wonderful person. This is Brett Watson. And after having a complete profile optimized and features and it producing a really good strapline, it led to the support of Brett getting a multi-million-dollar deal with a venture capitalist because he had nice and clear that he had 10,000 unique visitors per day, and he was in the pet industry, and someone reached out to him as far as contact him as well and said that he'd like to get a meeting with him. So bringing this to the surface in the banner, I see many banners that have forests or bridges. This is such a primary spot for putting your unique value proposition. Don't waste this real estate. About You section. Readers of your About section get a sense of who you are as well as what you do for them. When you're building out your About section, make sure you can see the preview here. It's only truncates, so it's the first two parts. Mine is, hi, I'm Steve, fractional FMO and the creator of the brand salience factor. And then when they expand it, I still do it in first person conversation. What I do, why it matters, talk about why I'm talking about salient factors framework and how it works. And then I brought a recent testimonial as well to show that delivery is part of that About section. A for authenticity. Sorry, just have a drink. Present your real professional self in both your summary and all your interactions. Write as you speak for more relatable and credible impressions. The good thing about having a banner that has your value statement and then your strap line that shows how you help, and I promote you and yours always being capitals because you're talking to the one person, is they get a clear message of how you help them. In this case, Real Bergendahl says, I help you grow your business empire through my tested growth strategies, taking your business to the next level to achieve revenue of 50 million and beyond. That is a good curiosity statement. The thing with this strap line is it actually shows on your profile page every LinkedIn connection request, LinkedIn engagement post, status post, and recommendations. So it's very, very powerful that people will see this and then come back to your profile page. Everything leads back to the profile page where the magic happens. Leverage in the word salience. Leverage your networks. 70% of revenue comes from trusted referrals. Networking saves you from not working. I'll say that again. Networking saves you from not working. I love that. So it's all about building and maintaining connections, engaging meaningful ways, commenting, sharing, and messaging, and connecting with the right people leads to growing your business more quickly. So even though you get connection requests from a lot of people, don't always accept them. Have a look at their profile, see what value and business development you can do with each other. I is for impactful summary. Okay, make sure in that 2,600 characters, you always write in first person, not third. Focus on problem, solution, outcome. These are the problems my clients have, the solutions I do with those problems, and these are the outcomes with a recommendation. And try to get them to a lead magnet so they can have a look at your resource. Ensure your profile represents you as someone who can solve problems, not just someone with a list of past roles. That's really important. It's not a CV anymore. You need to show people you solve problems. Personalize the experience for the reader. Your profile is yours, but it's not for you. It's for them to get a nuance to how you help them. And at the end, create a call to action. Click on the blue connect button or DM me saying, send me a LinkedIn profile optimization 10-point checklist. People need to be directed. Building trust is foundational, leading to credibility, reliability, and consistency. And then this leads to relevance, which fosters consideration and ultimately more conversations. What we need more on LinkedIn is more conversations on how we can help each other. A couple of different lead magnet opportunities are ebooks, webinars, checklist templates, and quizzes. This is one that I've got called a LinkedIn optimization 10-point checklist. And then at the bottom, I've got the QR code, and that goes through to a 15 minutes for you conversation. Always have them to do something next. And this is the one that I was talking about before. E is for endorse and recommend. Overcome the injections in the buyer's mind of what you provide as a product or service. Showcasing. And this is what happens when you get 3 or 4 LinkedIn recommendations. They give you this URL. Once you click on that, it opens up to showcase a URL which you can put in your contact info. And as Alan did, which I love that he did this, he put that on the bottom of his email. So every time that Alan sends out an email, he says, here directly from those I've worked with. I thought that was incredible. He did that. So that's one click back to the social proof, and they can look and say, wow, Alan really does do good work. And it helps them to understand that maybe he's the right one to speak to now, because obviously because those recommendations are profiling what great work that he's done in market. So well done, Alan. And then N, nurture and engagement. Consistently post content and reply to comments within the golden hour. What that means is when you post content in the first 60 to 90 minutes, LinkedIn algorithm will look at it, and it only opens up to a small portion called your test panel of 6 to 8 connections to show them your content first. Then after that, it comes back and has a look, and if it doesn't see much engagement, it lets it fade out in the newsfeed. But if it sees lots of engagement, it then stays in the newsfeed for longer. A couple of different factors in accelerating your post reach. If you just like, it's 1 times multiplier. If you save your post or a post, it gives 2.4 times multiplier. If you click see more, it's 3 times multiplier. If you instant repost with your insights, it's a 10 times multiplier. And then comment. Always when you are looking at commenting, comment first, then give a thumbs up or reaction. You get a 12 times multiplier. Posts that generate strong engagement with golden hour are more likely to be shown to 2nd and 3rd degree connections. That's where your new business development lay. Also, LinkedIn posts impressions in comments. The main thing is when you are actually engaging on your community, make sure you tag them in, and you also have insightful. About 12 words would be fantastic. Keep that conversation going. Targeted keywords in your headlines, which is your strapline, skills, and summary. And the beautiful thing now, the integrated relevant keywords throughout your LinkedIn profile are also searched now, not only on search engines, but Google's AI engines as well. So Perplexity, ChatGPT, and Google AI overviews. LinkedIn is notably a part of the top cited sources reflecting professional content focus. So some of those keywords for headline, skills, and summary, make sure that they are proficient. What are the key elements of a LinkedIn profile? Because it's your digital handshake, is curiosity, credibility, and conversation. Curiosity makes people interested in what you do. That's your banner. Credibility makes them see you as an authority. That is the resources. And then conversion, as once again in resources, tells them the next step to take to work with you. That's why the featured section is so important. As you can see there, 3% of your market are now buyers, but 97 are future buyers, just watching for trust signals. So have that situated in your featured section. The LinkedIn algorithm since June now prioritizes relevance over recency. So the algorithm now favors content that is more relevant to a user's professional interest. Your insights, industry trends, and actual advice are more likely to get higher visibility. So don't write in content how to anymore. Say how I do ABC. Come into your niche and how you actually do things in market. And strengthen network connections. Connect with first-degree connections is prioritize more to show users valuable updates from people they truly know and trust. That's pretty much the same thing. Make sure you're sharing expert knowledge, encouraging meaningful discussion, and leveraging rich native content. And then a new feature recently is in your articles, whether it be your long-form articles or newsletters, you now have a video banner that you can upload. You can put horizontal videos. They play for ideally you can play them for about 30 seconds or less, and there should be short, engaging, and scroll stopping. But that is a new feature that's just been released to LinkedIn on your newsletters and on your banners. So you'll see them coming through a lot more. And that's what I did at the very start. I brought a post up, frequencies, images, and who the creator was. And I'll just stop there. Here's a couple of to-do daily lists. Comment on 5 LinkedIn posts with your insights. Send out 5 connection requests with a personalized note. Review 5 LinkedIn notifications and action a response or engagement. And send a reply to 5 DMs on LinkedIn. That'll put you in a good step forward. And that is my QR code if you'd like to leave me a recommendation on this profile, on this presentation. It's been great presenting to you. I'll leave that for a second. And I'm just about to stop sharing. I know we're tight on time, so I'll just stop sharing and back to you, Nick.
Fabulous. And any questions, any other questions there? I'm just going to have a quick look through the chat there.
It's a bit of a fire hose. I'm sorry about that.
That's all good. All right, we've got a hand up there, Aldrin.
Aldwin.
Yes, love that. Thank you, Steve. 2 questions. One is around what are your thoughts around doing LinkedIn Live events? And the other one is around newsletters, some ways to maximize newsletters.
Yeah, absolutely both. I've seen your LinkedIn Lives and they're fantastic. Keep doing those. LinkedIn really is favoring the LinkedIn Lives and newsletters. The power, there's 200,000 LinkedIn newsletters. The good thing about them is the immersion capability of immersing down into videos. You can do link backs to any parts of your website. And the good thing about them, people don't have to be on LinkedIn to get them. They can come through their email. That's what I love about them. So anyone that follows you will always get notified to follow your newsletter as well. So yes, to answer those, both of those are a good idea, 100%.
Excellent. Thank you.
Fabulous. There was a question from 2 weeks ago that someone asked, who's actually here, that was Paul, and it was asking about tools. So there are tools there like Lusher and Closely, My Most Trusted. What are the risks of using tools like that in the platform in terms of how does LinkedIn view grabbing content and downloading content?
Yeah, look, I can't speak for the other tools like LinkedIn. It is sensitive to some of those automated tools, but My Most Trusted is very light on with LinkedIn. I've actually got email communication that it's okay to use My Most Trusted. I would just look at the LinkedIn's terms of service, make your own judgment on what you'd like to do there. I use My Most Trusted within my activity on LinkedIn, and it seems to be fine. But once again, you've got to abide by LinkedIn's terms of service.
Steve, the question I was asking was, I'm doing about nearly 100 invites a week, which I'm getting about an 80% acceptance rate, which is pretty good.
Yeah, fantastic.
I'm tying up my VA at the moment. All she's doing really is entering the people who have accepted my invites into my CRM, which is Zoho. And that's basically taking most of her time. If there was a tool that I could use, and one of the ones that Nick showcased was this one called Closely. Yep. Apparently it can upload it automatically from LinkedIn into a CRM. And that was my concern. I've had other people who are specialists in this area, and they've absolutely cautioned me against it. But I love Nick's solution if I'm not going to get into trouble.
I would just say you'd have to look at LinkedIn terms of service. I can't really comment because I'm a user to the platform as well. I do use some of those AI-driven tools, but yeah, you'd have to just be aware of the terms of service.
The answer is it will be unclear and they would steer me away from doing it.
Yeah. Look, I won't make comment on that. I think you just have to look at and make a decision for yourself.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah. One thing I have been using a lot of is Notebook LM. I'm not sure if people have been using Notebook LM, but it's a phenomenal tool. It centralizes all your resources. What you can do is you can actually take your LinkedIn profile. In the resources button at the top of your profile, it says download PDF. Once you've optimized your profile, download that PDF, go into Notebook LM and put that into one of the resources and then bring your website details across. And then it only pulls information from the resources you're giving it. So it's a really great way of prompt engineering, but it's only taking from what the assets you've given it rather than hallucinating outside of your website and different details. All right. Any other
All right,
questions?
David Fisher. You might need to hit that
Yeah.
unmute button there.
Yeah. You mentioned LinkedIn Premium through Navigator. What's your, obviously, if you pay for something, that's good value, or?
Yeah, look, it really is. I've been grandfathered in for many, many years, but I find it because of the analytics. I love it that you can actually go from 10,000 book of business and granularize it down and find 2,500 of your ideal clients. And then what it does, it gives you sales activity where you can actually see that they've posted on LinkedIn, and then you can go and engage and build the relationship. You know, the whole thing with building relationships on LinkedIn is connecting and engaging and then building life, like a relationship by supporting their comments, reacting, engaging, and getting them to know you really, and building a relationship through content and commenting. That's the best way. What we don't want to do on LinkedIn is start being salesy. LinkedIn doesn't have a shopping cart. We can't be a salesman. We can talk to people about our products and services, but we take them off the platform when we want to talk about opportunities within sales and products, servicing, and things like that.
Yep, thanks for that.
That's okay.
All right, and I think that's answered Bruce's question. Same thing in the chat as well.
Beautiful.
All right. Anything else? All right. Well, I think that's all we've got time for, unfortunately. That was such a good session. I have got a whole list of things that I need to do, and my VAs are also going to be busy over the week as well too.
Yeah, look, it's funny because what I presented today, if I'd presented this a year ago, it would have been different. This is how quick the platform's moving. So the idea is just keep up to date with the platform. It wants not only do our connections and followers want to trust us, LinkedIn want to trust us as well. And they will promote us more on the platform if they see us promoting more content, promoting and supporting our network and connections. And if you can think of a giver's gain, the more you give, the better it'll be for you. And before you post content, I would really recommend that you think about what value is this bringing my community before you post. Because if you can bring them value, they will support you in many ways on the platform. And, my acronym is HOPE, help one person every day. And I find myself on LinkedIn, 5-6 hours a day, just helping people, answering questions. But the amount of opportunities coming back at me has been extraordinary. I get to present here. I'm on a podcast tomorrow. I've been presenting all week. Like, it's given me an opportunity because I've niched down. I'm actually a marketer, but I'm actually micro niche down into understanding LinkedIn and AI tools and Sales Navigator. So I position myself as the go-to person, and that's what Salience is. So you need to be position yourself as the salient person in your industry.
Excellent, excellent. Thanks for that, Steve. Well, let's give Steve an enormous round of virtual applause there. Excellent session. We do have a door prize for tonight as well too. Do you want to tell us what the door prize is?
Yeah, if someone would like to jump on a call with me, I'll put that forward and I can help you optimize your profile and show you a few different things to help you become salient in your industry. Or I've got a gift of a Sales Navigator for 1 month trial that if you'd like to trial that, I'd like to gift that to someone as well.
Fabulous. Excellent. Excellent. All right. Well, we do have our wheel of names to draw this. So everybody's name has been entered into the wheel of names. Don't leave yet because you need to be in the room and you need to sort of tell us that you're here. So once we spin it, you're the winner. Otherwise, we redraw it again. So after tonight's session, that Sales Navigator is certainly a good gift, and I think spending some more time with Steve would be well worth it as well. All right, let's spin the wheel, see who our lucky winner is tonight. And there it is, it's racing. So let's have a virtual drum roll on our desks in front of us, and lucky winner is Wesley Chan. Are you here, Wesley? Just going to have a look through the screen.
Hi.
Hi, Wesley. How are you?
Yeah, good, thanks.
Excellent. Well, you're our lucky winner tonight.
Thank you very much.
Fabulous. So we'll connect you up with Steve by email tomorrow, or you can contact Steve directly. We'll connect you anyway, but feel free to connect with Steve, and I'm sure that he'll make it happen.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Well done.
Right, and anyone else that wants to connect with Steve as well, he has a QR code on his background, on his Zoom background. Feel free to scan that and connect with him on LinkedIn, and then you'll get the experience of how Steve operates on LinkedIn. He is very much what he's talked about tonight. He does the same thing on LinkedIn. So I've had that experience, over a number of years that I've known Steve as well too. So if you've enjoyed tonight's presentation, it will be up on the SmashGo YouTube channel tomorrow afternoon. If you're not a subscriber there, head over to YouTube, just search for SmashGo. Actually, the link's in the chat now as well too. You can just click on the link. And if you hit subscribe and hit the little bell icon, then you'll get a notification as soon as that replay's up. If you know someone else that would benefit from this as well too, send them along there as well. I think this information is just crucial for anyone in business. So feel free to send them there to watch the replay. Now, next week, we don't have a guest for next week. So I'm looking for someone who would be an ideal guest. So if you've got a recommendation of someone that you think would be good for this show, that's got some experience, some expertise to share, let me know, because we happen to have that spot empty at the moment, and I'd love to fill it. Otherwise, you're going to have to hear from me, so which I'm happy to do as well too, but it's always good to have another guest as well. So if you do have someone, send them through to me. All right, well, that's our show for tonight. Thank you, Steve, once again for coming on to present to us, and thanks everyone for coming along. Hope you've enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing some of your LinkedIn profiles to see how they improve over the next week or so. All right, well, have a good night, and look forward to seeing you all again next week. Thank you for tuning in and listening to the Business Owners Smashing It Online podcast. You can also find me on social media and online. Just search for Business Owners Smashing It Online and Nick Cree, spelled Nikkree, all one word. If you like this and want to hear more, subscribe now. Until next time, don't be a slave to your business. Get your business working for you.